The New South Wales government has announced it will push back its coal reservation scheme following backlash from exporters. Joining us live now, Chief Investment Officer at the Motley Scott Phillips. Scott, what's your take?
Pete, good morning. Look, I'm the finance guy, not the politics guy, but I think policy-wise, less intervention by government in setting caps, reservations, prices, all that kind of stuff is probably a good thing. And if you're going to do it, giving suppliers some decent, reasonable amount of time to get ready for that sort of thing makes a whole lot of sense. Look, we know energy prices are too high. Governments, for policy and frankly political reasons, need to take steps to make sure, particularly the most vulnerable among us, aren't overly impacted by this. So I get the idea, I get why, and frankly, Matt Keane in New South Wales, Don Perrottet, are looking at the gas and oil situation nationally and saying, oops, we better not be in that situation. And of course, New South Wales state election coming up. So make your own judgment on that one. I don't love, look, I think it makes sense for a state or a country to have reservations of fossil fuels, of energy production. That makes a whole lot of sense. Whether you want to flick it on somebody and say, guess what, right now, here's where it's going, that feels too much to me.
OK. Deutsche Bank, it's got a deathly forecast this morning. It's predicting that the RBA is still going to raise rates another 4 times, and it's going to do them by August this year. Now, that's a worst-case scenario, I think. Bill Evans on this program said there'll only be 3, but where do you stand on this one, Scott?
Yeah, you're right. Deutsche saying that yesterday. Goldman Sachs, by the way, has said 4.1% since November of last year. So this is not new for them. And there are other economists, by the way, saying the RBA's done. It is a really fascinating... Look, first thing is no one knows, right? Let's be really honest. There's such a wide range of economists.
Where's your money, though, Scott? Where's your money?
2. I'm going to say 2. I think the RBA is probably going to go next week. I think they're going to go again. 7.8% inflation is just way too high. If you're not going to do it now, you shouldn't have done it at all. If you're going to simply say, hey, we're going to let inflation do what it's going to do, we'll back away and just see what happens, then there's no point making that mortgage pain felt by Australians over the last 8 or 9 months. So if you're going to do something, you're going to do it and make sure you achieve the aim you set out to do. Otherwise, it's the worst of both worlds. You end up with high inflation and high rates, which is just crazy. So, look, they're in for a penny, in for a pound. And they should be, by the way. This is the economic orthodoxy. It's the right thing to do. We should be doing that. It is proven to be one of the tools best used to control inflation.
Well,
so,
I mean, you look,
as much as it hurts, go on.
The government, and it always refers to the RBA as being independent, but it believes, it's seen the signs here, and Jim Chalmers and Stephen Jones have said that they believe that the worst is past. They believe that there are signs that the worst is past. Now, if you've got 4 more rate rises on the top of that, then you can be starting to inch towards recession, which is what the S&P said we'll probably avoid.
And I think these things are completely linked, Pete. If there is 4 rate rises, I don't see how we avoid recession. If we have 0, we're probably sweet. 2, which is my best guess, and it is just an absolute guess, I think we probably will avoid recession. This is the base case problem. The economists saying no more rate rises, there's almost certainly no recession, right? And it makes a whole lot of sense. In the US, in the 1980s, going back a very long time for those of us with a little bit less hair than we used to have, the US, under Paul Volcker, they put rates up not only before a recession, but during that recession, because Volcker took the view, and I think rightly, as much as it hurt, to say we need to kill inflation dead. Now, that set the stage for 25-odd, 30 years of US growth thereafter, because it right-sized the economy, it fixed inflation, it got things under control. And you know what? Keating's recession we had to have thing also wasn't miles away from the mark, because when you slow an economy down like that using rates, you do set it up again for the 30 years of growth we then had. So we want to be careful what we wish for here. No one wants a recession really, but it's far, far better than ongoing high inflation.
If we're looking at 2, maybe 3, and worst case scenario 4 rate rises, and within a short space of time, if that's all got to be done by August, then why not just get it over and done with a double rate rise next month?
I think because the RBA doesn't know the answer, mate, and this is the challenge. Again, because if every single economist and the RBA said, look, it's definitely going to 4.1 by August, I would agree with you and say, you know what, let's just do it 50 now, 50 next month, and be done. The problem is they don't know how much they might need to do, and to your point, they don't know whether or not inflation has peaked. So it's one of those kind of inch and inch. As every single time, we will be talking, mate, in a year's time about how the last rate rise from the RBA was 1 too many. And it doesn't matter whether there's 0, 2 or 4 by then. We'll be saying, they've obviously gone too far. So making it slow and steady makes sense. I think you're right in hindsight, by the way. We should have done it much quicker and much higher to get to the 3% level we've got now. I don't know at this point when it's already elevated and the risks are higher, you want to go too far just in case you kill the goose that laid the golden egg.
Well, I mean, hopefully by the end of the year, we're talking about rate cuts. Scott?
Well, that's a good chance.
Yeah, hopefully. All right, good to chat. As always, talk to you soon.
Thanks, Pete.